guys, welcome back to Fairs Tutorials. In today's episode, we'll be looking at Tourism Unit 1, Content 1, which is entitled Definitions and Key Concepts. Stay tuned. Tourism Unit 1, Module 1, Concepts and Issues. And in today's episode, we're looking at Content 1, which is entitled Definitions and Key Concepts. Now, let's take a look at our focus points. So we'll be looking at definitions of key terms and concepts, and also the interdisciplinary nature of tourism as a field of study. Now we're going to kick things off with the definition of tourism. Now guys, what is tourism? Well, I know that you're able to tell, right? But maybe in different terms or in different words. All right, now, but let us look at these definitions. And the first one that we're going to look at is a definition by UNWTO, which stands for United Nations World Tourism Organization. Now, United Nations World Tourism Organization is an organization that deals with tourism activities internationally. Now, let us look at their definition. Tourism comprises the activities of persons traveling to and staying in places outside their usual environment for not more than one consecutive year for leisure, business, and other purposes, right? Now, the key things for us to look at is the reason for travel, right? And also the time frame of travel. Good. Now, let's go again. Tourism comprises the activities of persons traveling to and staying in places outside their usual environment for not more than one consecutive year for leisure, business, and other purposes. Good. Now, there's also another definition by Caribbean Tourism Organization. Now, as it relates to CTO, which stands for Caribbean Tourism Organization, this organization is responsible for the tourism activities within the region, right? So whereas United Nations World Tourism Organization deals with tourism activities internationally, Caribbean Tourism Organization deals with tourism activities within the region, right? Now let us look at their definition. Tourism involves the movement of people to destination outside the places where they normally live and work. It also involves the activities of people during their stay at these destinations and the facilities or services needed. The stay needs to be for a period of over 24 hours, right? Now, with both definition, you can see aspects coming through, such as the activity that is involved for leisure, right? Or it may be the length of time. So it has to be a maximum of 24 hours, right? But less than a year. Now, guys, on an exam, you may get to define tourism, right? It is important for you to mention the length of time. So it's what? More than 24 hours for less than a year, right? And it has to be the activities of persons that are moving to a destination. So there are different types of tourists, which we will look at in our next episode. But for now, we're looking at these concepts and these definitions, right? So it's important for us to know what they're traveling for, the length of time they're traveling for as well, because that is very important in defining what tourism is. Good. So a past paper question may ask you to define tourism generally like that, or they may ask you for the definition of United Nations World Tourism Organization or the CTO's definition. So it is best for you to know the definitions that are coined by each organization and also your own definition, just in case you want to put things on your in your own spin or your perspective, but remember the key things that must be in the definition: the length of time, the activities that is done as well. All right, two very important things. Now, who is a tourist? A tourist is a person who travels away from home for leisure, business, or other purposes for longer than a day. Longer than a day, important, which is more than what? 24 hours, but less than a year. So tourism, guys, is the activities of the tourist. So the tourist is a person who is carrying out these activities, and the activities that they do or indulge in is tourism. Now, a very important concept or term that we need to know as well is who is an excursionist. An excursionist is a person who arrives at the destination and departs the same day. Now, based on the definitions that you're seeing on your screen, what is the difference between a tourist and an excursionist? You're correct there. I heard you when you said the time frame, right? So the time frame makes the difference. Good. So a tourist has to be more than 24 hours but less than a year, but an excursionist can go out and enjoy a destination, but what? Their travel is less than a day, right? So they return home or they return to their dwelling in the same day. All right. Now let us look at our checkpoints. So we have 3 questions here. Number 1, state the United Nations World Tourism Organization definition of tourism. And that's 2 marks. Number 2, state the Caribbean Tourism Organization definition of tourism. And 3, state a definition for tourism. Now, why we have these 3 questions is that each of these questions may come on a given exam paper. So if it asks you to define, to give UNWTO, which is World Tourism Organization definition, you have to give that particular definition that this organization coined, right? So it's very important for you to understand the different wording or the different phrases that is used by each organization. And if you get a question that just says state a definition for tourism, you can give your own, or according to UNWTO or according to CTO, you can choose whichever you want. All right, now let us move on to the next phase where we'll be looking at the interdisciplinary nature of tourism as a field of study. Now, when we speak of interdisciplinary nature, what are we talking about? Awesome. So the different disciplines that comes together, the different components, the different areas of study that makes up tourism. So when we're studying about tourism, these disciplines or these components, it is a must that we have to look at these components, right? Because all of these components is what make tourism unique, right? Now for these interdisciplinary nature, I want you to take a look at these scrambled words and just take a quick second to try to figure out what each is. So we're looking at 4. Are you able to tell what number 1 is? How about number 2? Number 3? Number 4? All right, now let us reveal if what you said is actually correct. Right, so the first one that we're looking at is geography and tourism. You see the link, right? So tourism geography is the study of travel and tourism as an industry and as a social and cultural activity. Tourism geography is that branch of science which deals with the study of travel and its impact on places. Good. Geography is fundamental to the study of tourism. And why is that so? It is simply so because tourism is geographical in nature, right? So we go to different places, different destinations, right? Then that is how we can tie up geography when we're speaking about the different types of climates, right? The different resources that are available in other locations or other parts of the world. Good. Now our next disciplinary nature that we're looking at is sociology and tourism. Now, the sociology of tourism is an emergent specialty concerned with the study of touristic motivations, roles, relationships, and institutions and their impact on tourists and on the societies who receive them, right? Now, in other words, sociology is a science of the society, the different social institutions, and also the social relationships that are there as well, right? So we have to see how the society is linked with the study of tourism. All right, our next one is very important too, which is economics and tourism. Now, economics is a social science concerned with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. It studies how individuals, businesses, governments, and nations make choices on allocating resources to satisfy wants and needs, and tries to determine how these groups should organize and coordinate efforts to achieve maximum output, right? So we can't talk about tourism and we're not talking about money, right? Can we? We're not talking about revenue, foreign exchange. All of that makes up the study. We have to know about these different elements or these different disciplines to truly understand the study of tourism, or what tourism is really all about, right? And the fourth one that we're going to look at is anthropology and tourism. Now, anthropology is a study of various aspects of humans within past and present society. So anthropology will help us to adapt and change to the current trends, and also for us to appreciate the heritage, the cultures that was set before, right? So we're talking about generation to intergeneration, right? Activities. Now, tourism anthropology study the norms and values of tourists and the society as well. Question: describe 4 areas of study that are linked to tourism. And that works 4 marks. You're awesome. You've made it to the end of the session. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also share with persons who you know would find this information useful. Don't forget to turn on your post notification bells so you can be notified when there is another upload. Thank you for making it Paris Tutorials.